Okay. Yeah. Non-stop today. Yeah, I guess so. So this is an amateur bracket game for season 7. It's a new thing we're doing for the people. They're doing it because they raised the entry barrier for the cup to 5 and 2 instead of 4 and 3. So now the people who go 4 and 3 or 3 and 4 can play in the amateur bracket. So this is for the round of 32. We have Phoenix versus Crane. Ooh, and I'm happy about this. Right off the bat, we get to see one of the new cards, Kudaka. We'll see if he actually plays her. I think I might wait to play her until the second turn. Maybe just play the Solemn Scholar and Tsuko here, or Tsuki, I mean. But yeah, this is Baron Fell versus Kenshin on the Discord. Ooh, doesn't even play the Solemn Scholar, just wants to get that passing fate there. So, looking at the deck list real quick, the Phoenix player, see Away the Crane, the Phoenix player is playing Scorpion Splash for 3 Maze of Illusion, 1 I Can Swim, 2 Calling in Favors. So he's going for that Uona Maze combo. Hopefully we get to see one of those this game. We see the Cautious Scout attack into Meditations, trying to get rid of this Kudaka. I think that is the correct choice. Although it is a little bit risky, it could have been like a bait into Shameful Display. Well, as I say that, I realize that it is Cautious Scout attacking, so it wouldn't have mattered. So yeah, I think that is the correct call to go for that province there. And there is no Assassinate in the Phoenix deck. This is the Void Ring. So yeah, this is pretty awkward here for Phoenix. I think putting only 1 Fate on the Tsuki might have been a mistake. That sort of just leaves you open to this Air Ring here, or Void Ring, I mean. The Crane player also has 1 Admit Defeat, so even defending this would be pretty risky. We see a Fine Katana. Gonna try and break the Meditations. Ooh, and here's our first maze, but it gets cancelled. No fun. That is unfortunate, but that is 1 cancel out of the way. And he's actually just gonna play maze again with his Stronghold. So we're gonna see if he can guess this right. Ooh, and he guesses wrong. Unfortunate, losing that coin flip there. Guessed even, and the bid was 1. He does have a Steward of Law, so he is probably still going to win this conflict, although the problem with this is that now Meditations can be used, and yes, Baron Fell does realize that and uses Meditations. So, potentially a mistake there. I mean, the Void Ring, essentially you're trading the Cautious Scout for the Tsuki, since you're going to Void Ring her. But since you spent the Katana there, I think Baron Fell is going to be fine with that trade. Oh, so we saw a display of power. So that is actually a really big swing then. Not even getting that Void Ring off. So yeah, playing the Steward of Law in that conflict was definitely a mistake there. I think he should have just let that ring go back there. Risking the display of power is dangerous. It looks like Varenfell is going to find Shameful Display. And he's going to go ahead and play a Benton's Touch to re-honor himself. How many Benton's Touches does he have? He has 2. I am a little bit concerned that he's spending a lot of his air cards right out of the gate. And hasn't found Uona yet. I never actually got around to it, but the Crane player is actually splashing Phoenix for 2 Display of Power and 3 Seeker of Knowledge. So we're going to see probably a lot of Display of Power this game. He has Kudaka as well, and the Fusuid Disciple. So it looks like he's going for some sort of honor deck, potentially. Claiming that Water Ring is going to, or having the Water Ring be claimed is going to let him honor Tsuki there. So going into this turn with her honored is pretty big. And he's even up 1 fate. Ooh, and he found a duplicate. So I think you play Kudaka here. He does play Kudaka with 3 fate. And then you dupe Tsuki. And then you pass. Crane is going to play 2 characters here. Bids 1. Interesting. Turn 1 was 5 bids. So Phoenix has first player here. I wonder if you do an air attack and just make him like super overcommit. Yeah, that is what he's doing, it looks like. Ooh, he's sending both characters. So the problem with this play is the potential display of power. And it is open deck list, so he should know that that's in the deck. I think you definitely don't attack with both, because then display of power is just a big blowout. And Crane will get 2 free attacks. Although putting 1 fate on both of his characters means that he won't be able to attack Meditation safely. He does attack with both of his characters, finds Fertile Fields, and it looks like we are seeing a defense. I think defending is a mistake, unless you think you can win. We see a Clarity of Purpose on Kudaka, because you could have drawn a Display of Power off the Fertile Fields, so then if you defend, you can't use it. So unless he has enough cards in his hand to win this conflict, I think you don't defend there. We see an Ornate Fan. That will prevent the break. We have a Court Games, going to honor Kudaka. Only one extra skill, but that is putting him back in breaking range here. Ooh, and there's the political rival. So he's going to spend all of his fate there. But that does put him up 2 skill above the Phoenix. So we'll see what else Phoenix has here. Not much in his discard pile. He could play the Clarity of Purpose again, so that Tsuki wouldn't bow. And that could potentially be pretty strong, as he would still have 2 honored characters unbowed. Like, I think you're fine if you lose this conflict, because it means that you made him overcommit a lot. And then with the Clarity of Purpose you don't bow, and then you just get to attack again. We see a Cloud the Mind on political rival. That's pretty good. Although again, I mean, I guess it's fine, but like, he is spending a lot of these air cards before seeing Uona. I guess that's just what happens. Like, you can't realistically hold all of them and then just wait to see her. That is going to put him back to winning, and it looks like the Crane player is out of cards. So if the Phoenix player passes here, then he will win the conflict. He might be thinking about whether... Ooh, he's actually going to try to break this. Plays a Calling in Favors on Kudaka to steal that Ornate Fan. And since she will... Yeah, she will not be bowing from this conflict. Airing gains 2 honor, Kudaka gains 1 fate and draws a card. So yeah, this is why Kudaka is so good. You just get so much value out of the airing. And we're going to see a past conflict there from Crane. So he's first player here. Let's see. Obviously you want to get the Void Ring if you can. So I might consider Void Attack as Phoenix here. But that does potentially leave you open to... goes Earth. Interesting. What conflict characters does he have? He has 2 Seeker of Knowledge and 3 Shrine Maiden. Interesting. Could also have the 2nd Display of Power. Yeah, leaving yourself open to the potential void ring seems risky. That might telegraph a display of power. I think if I were Crane, I would actually just go fire here on the attack back. We see a supernatural storm. Gonna get 2 breaks this turn unless Crane has another card to play. Fine Katana. Doesn't want the Earth Ring to discard that. So yeah, I think he's just going to take this break here. Ooh, another Fine Katana. So I guess he's going to try to get a military break on his attack. There is the break. Discards Voice of Honor at random. Not too relevant on the current board, but could potentially be with the Savvy Politician. Oh, and he has an Against the Waves. So that might be fine, because you are doing a military attack here with your 2 katanas. We'll see, though, what happens. Yeah, I think firing is the correct choice. And he's going to find Public Forum, pretty good province to find. Can go ahead and farm that whenever you want. We do see a defense. So is he going to try to win this on defense? We've seen 1 calling in favors. He could do another one. Ooh, we have an admit defeat. So it looks like he was just trying to prevent the... I guess that's valid, like you don't want him to run into Shameful and then just get the free break on it. So I think the admit defeat was perhaps played preemptively there. He is going to get the Savvy Politician trigger off though, so that's good. But he has a bunch of characters with no fate on them now. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Imperial Palace, so favor not going anywhere for Phoenix there. Cautious Scout, no fate. Master of Gisei Toshi, 3 fate. Maybe you play Brash Samurai. He plays the Doji Challenger, only putting 1 fate on her. So Crane does have the slightly larger board here, but Phoenix has a lot more fate on their characters. So this is a potentially dangerous situation for Crane. We're going to see Crane go back up to a 5 bid. I think bidding 1 on the last turn was probably a mistake for Crane. Just not having very many cards to try and win those conflicts. Baron Fell, interestingly, bid 5 the first turn and has been bidding 3 on subsequent turns. I guess just trying to rely more on Kudaka for the card draw and get some honor away from the Crane player. Master of Gisei Toshi used on the Water Ring. That is probably what he will be trying to claim this turn. The thing I really like about Kudaka, I think, is that she makes the airing better for you, but not better for your opponent, which I think is pretty good. Because then, like, if they overcommit for it, then you're just like, okay, sure, right. Whereas if they don't, and you get to win the airing, then you get just a ton of resources. Oh, so very large attack here. Going military at Meditations, trying to break that Imperial Palace. Sends the Cautious Scout, but since he's not attacking alone, this Meditations will be able to remove a fate from the Doji Challenger. So, I mean, this is just a mistake, right? Like, if you're going to attack Meditations with the Challenger, then you just don't put a fate on her. Ooh, and there's no defense, so I think there's a display of power here. He's attacking the firing too, which doesn't seem particularly relevant. The Doji Challenger is going to pull someone in, so the display of power won't go off. And pulling Kudaka is pretty good on this military attack. He could prevent the break by playing this Supernatural Storm for another +3. Let's see. We see a pass, so the Imperial Palace is going to get broken, and dishonors the Master of Gisei Toshi. Interesting. Oh, Noble Sacrifice. There is one Censure in the Phoenix deck, so if... Ooh, he didn't have it. Wow, that's really big. I think I would have considered Noble Sacking the Kudaka. But that's still definitely a really big swing. Ooh. Actually, so all three of the provinces were flipped, so he knew what the last face down one is. So yeah, he can just go into Meditations with this Tsuki. This is a military attack, so it's going to be hard to defend with the current board. And it is the Watering, meaning he will likely bow this political rival. Or the Doji Whisperer if it doesn't defend. And then he will get his Keeper Initiate into play as well. So despite that good Noble Sacrifice, this is still looking risky for the Crane player. We see no defense. I think that's correct if you don't have any cards that can win you this conflict. Oh. Wow. I think I just realized why Baronfell is bidding 3. He actually has 2 good omens in his deck. That's interesting. It's a card I have not seen in a while. Wonder where all the mazes are. He's only seen 1 maze. We see... Ooh, there's another maze. Shrine Maiden finds Maze and Clarity and discards Good Omen. Man, I kind of wish Good Omen was actually good. I really like the art on it. The frog. So he is now breaking Meditations. We see it pass. So that will break. So this presents a problem for the Crane player. If you attack here with anything other than the airing, then this Keeper Initiate's going to get the airing on the attack back and trigger Kudaka. Oh, never mind, he just readies Kudaka. Wait, he had 2 Keepers. I didn't notice that. I should be paying more attention. So 2 Keepers and Kudaka now ready. So preventing Phoenix from getting this airing is now looking very unlikely. There is a Steward of Law. Does Crane have For Shames? Can't see why he wouldn't. Yeah, he does have For Shames. He has Clouds as well, but no Shugenjas currently. So if he has any of those, he can't play them, unfortunately. Hopefully he has at least 1 For Shame here. If he could For Shame this Kudaka on the defense, that would be strong. I wonder what ring you attack here. It's attacking Void. I guess there aren't really a lot of good options. Void is probably fine. Going at Public Forum with just the Steward of Law. So the problem with this is that Phoenix has the Imperial Favor. So he could just defend with 1 Keeper Initiate and force a card out of Crane, which would kind of feel bad. We'll see if he does that. There's currently 7 political skill on Crane's board, which is what Kudaka has by herself, so I don't think you need both of the Keeper Initiates. Well, herself with the favor, that is. So I don't think you need both of the Keeper Initiates for the attack. Keeper gets boxed. That's true, he just trades the box for it. You can't expect me to remember Crane Box, can you? Ooh. So he's going to play a fan and break that Public Forum. Not sure how much I like spending that card on a character with no fate to break a province that you could just farm. He does win the Void Ring, so he's going to Void Kudaka there, and then he's going to just attack back with a ton of skill at the Stronghold. And this is another reason I would have wanted to save the fan. This could potentially be the game here, if he has enough cards to close it out. He has a fan. Yeah, that's going to be GG, it looks like. He had the Supernatural Storm as well for another +2. So yeah, Crane got that 1 Noble Sack off on the 3 Fate Master of Gisei Toshi, which was really good. But other than that, game didn't go particularly well for them. Um, yeah, that first turn could have gone a lot differently if he had guessed right on the maze. Maze is kind of just a dumb card, but it's I don't know. I think it's fun, but I don't know how much I want to actually play against it. Um, but yeah, there were some mistakes from Crane. Like I think managing the amount of fate he puts on characters is definitely something he could improve on. Especially like the fate on the Doji Challenger when he attacked into meditations. That was just a mistake. Um, you could put 2 fate on her if you're going to attack there, or you could just put no fate, but 1 is definitely not the right amount. Feel like I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, with the Noble Sack as well, I actually would have considered Kudaka, even though she had 1 less fate. Um, she did have a fan, and she has 1 extra military skill over the Master of Gisei Toshi, and I think her ability is just better. So I think I would have actually Noble Sacked the Kudaka in that situation. But yeah, anyway, that is going to be the game. Baron Fell will advance to the top 16. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.